Hello, everybody. My name is Sarah, and I like to read. I also like to write, and I don't know if you've checked out my channel, but I'm a pretty erratic person. So, anyways, how are you today? This is my Christmas tree. Merry Christmas. And yeah, I gotta let you know something. I like the dark, so my background isn't the greatest right now. I understand. If I do videos in the future, if you guys like my content, I'll definitely switch to something more stable. But I gotta tell you, I'm not the most stable person in the world. Really, I'm not. Very erratic, and I do things on a spur of the moment. Creatively, it could be nice, but we don't have to drift into other areas of life, do we? Now, I don't know about you guys, but if you remember the Goosebumps series as a kid, then if you were a teenager, you might remember the Fear Street series. Now, this is what I got here. This is one of my favorite books. So this is, I don't know if it's The Best Friend. So let's see what we got coming here. Oh, by the way, I'm going to read this, okay? I'm going to read like 3 or 4 chapters. And if you guys like it, I'll continue. Because I don't want to sit here and hurt my voice if no one cares. Okay. Fear Street, where your worst nightmares live. Honey Perkins just moved to Shady Side, but she's telling everyone that she is Becca Norwood's best friend from elementary school. Trouble is, Becca doesn't remember her at all. But it doesn't stop Honey. She insists on doing everything Becca does, borrowing her clothes, borrowing her boyfriend, and then the horrible accidents begin. Honey swears she has nothing to do with them. She's just being a great friend. A best friend. To the end. Sorry, that reminds me of Chucky. I'm your friend to the end. Okay, next. Now, I like to do dialogue. I'm kind of like an actress. I don't want to be over dramatic, so I don't want to be annoying. Like I said, my voice changes rather quickly sometimes. I can change my voice like that. So I don't want anyone to say, oh, she sounds like a man. Because, yeah, I'm trying to sound like a man. Chapter 1. Ow, stop! You're hurting me. Eric Fraser loosened his grip on Becca Norwood's shoulders. Sorry, I didn't mean to. His face reddened. He stared at the snow-covered windshield. Becca slid away from him until her shoulder bumped the car door. She adjusted the collar of her coat. Why am I sitting here kissing him? She thought. I'm gonna break up with him. Big, wet snowflakes continued to fall. The windows were completely blanketed now. It's like being inside an igloo. Becca thought, shivering. Turning his dark eyes to her, Eric leaned forward, reaching for her. She raised her arm to block him. We have to talk, she said, not meaning to sound shrill. Talk! He giggled for some reason. Becca realized that she hated this giggle. It always burst out at the wrong time. He stretched his arm around her shoulders and tried to pull her closer. No, really, she insisted, trying to get away from under his arm. He acted hurt. What do you want to talk about? Becca chewed the tip of her thumb, a nervous habit. Here goes, she thought. Her stomach felt feathery. Her throat tightened. She realized she always felt jumpy around Eric. They'd been dating since school started in September, more than 3 months, but she never felt comfortable with him. He was so needy. She stopped chewing her thumb, clasped her hands together in her lap. I think we did talk about things. It was cold in the car, parked beside the woods, engine off, no heater. She shivered again. Eric rolled his eyes. Why do you always want to talk? His voice revealed more than impatience. His voice sounded angry. Why don't you ever want to talk? She demanded. Her voice trembled. The feathers in her stomach turned to stone. Don't cry, she instructed herself, biting her lower lip. It's not the end of the world. You're just breaking up with him. You haven't even been going out with him for that long. He turned away from her and gripped the steering wheel with both hands. Why are you on my case? He asked. You said you wanted to come here. I know. So why do you want to start a fight? I said I was sorry. After holding your shoulder too tight. It was an accident. He ran a hand back through his short brown hair, smoothing it. Becca's heart was pounding. She shifted uncomfortably in her seat. Outside, the wind roared, piling up more snow against the windshield. Don't cry, she forced herself again. Be cool. For once in your life, be cool. I think we shouldn't go out anymore. There. I said it, she thought. Huh? She turned to see his startled expression. You heard me. He giggled. That hideous, inappropriate giggle again. He moved his hands on the steering wheel, circling them around and around. I think we should start seeing other people, Becca added, her voice shaking. Don't cry. Okay, he said. His face became a blank, no expression at all. No problem. She suddenly felt she had to explain. I think you're a great guy, Eric, but... He raised a hand to stop her. His expression remained blank. I said, no problem. I'll take you home, Becca. He raised the collar of his leather bomber jacket. Then he turned the key in the ignition. The car hesitated a second before starting up. He's certainly being cool about this, Becca thought, chewing the end of her thumb and staring straight ahead. I'm a nervous wreck. You're always a nervous wreck, she told herself. If only her heart would stop pounding so hard. She could feel her pulse throb at her temples. He switched on the wipers. They pushed the light, fresh snow off the windshield, allowing the blackness of the night to fill the car. The headlights cut a tunnel through the darkness, illuminating the large, falling flakes. I'm sorry, Becca's not. No problem, Eric repeated. He lowered his foot on the gas pedal, and the car slid out onto the snow-covered road. Does he have to keep on saying that? He doesn't seem hurt at all, Becca thought, more than a little disappointed. She had hoped it would go easily, but not this easily. She didn't want to fight. It seemed that they've done nothing but fight for weeks. Every discussion turned into a fight. Every time they went out, they found themselves arguing. They're just bickering. And that was one reason Becca decided to break up with Eric. Bill Planter was the other reason. She had no intentions of bringing up Bill tonight. Staring out the silent falling snow, Becca thought about Bill. She wondered where he was, what he was doing. Maybe I'll drive over to his house in the old village, she thought. Just drop in on him. Mention that I broke up with Eric. No, wait, forget that idea. Her parents would murder her if they suspected she was thinking about dating Bill again. They were so relieved and so grateful when Rebecca had dumped Bill and started going off Eric. But Eric was just so immature, man. After always picking fights, always giggling, always grabbing at her, pawing her, she just hadn't be able to get Bill out of her head, though. She turned to Eric. Her eyes focused straight ahead on the road. Caught in the glare of the headlights, the snow seemed to be swirling in every direction. Don't be mad at me, Becca said softly. I'm not, Eric said. He shrugged. The shrug, so casual, so cool, made her angry. I guess he wanted to break up too, she thought. I guess he's glad. It wasn't what she had expected. She hadn't expected that shrug, as if all the weeks they'd been going together were nothing. Something to shrug off in a second. Now she was angry and upset. Why do I always have to take things more seriously than everybody else? She wondered. By the time he turned onto Fear Street and pulled into her driveway, she was trembling. She pushed open her door. A blast of cold air invaded the car at once. See you in school, Eric said brightly. It's been real. So cruel, Becca thought miserably. He didn't care about me at all. She slammed the car door behind her. He didn't wait for her to go into the house. He backed out of the driveway and was gone while she stood there searching for her keys in her jeans pocket. Her thoughts swirled in crazy directions, like the falling snow. I can't go inside yet. I'm too upset. She had the keys to her parents' car with her and with her house key. I'll go see Bill. No, I'll just drive for a bit. Try to calm myself down. She headed for the garage, her boots crunching the fresh snow. She slowly pulled the overhead door up, raising it as quietly as she could to her so her parents wouldn't hear. A few seconds later, she backed out of the driveway, the headlights off. Then she roared off down Fear Street, the tires skidding beneath her. The snow is so pretty, she thought, clicking on the headlights, leaning forward to peer out of the windshield. I'll just drive around town and then I'll come back. Her heart was still racing. Her stomach felt as it had been tied in knots. I was so nervous about breaking up with Eric, she thought, turning onto the middle road. And now I've done it, I'm even more nervous. It doesn't make sense. But that's just the way I am, Becca realized. I always feel more nervous after something happens. Face it, kid, she told herself. You're nervous, period. I've got to call Bill, she thought. I've got to call Trish and Lila, too. They'll be surprised I broke up with Eric. More surprised at Eric, she thought unhappily. She pictured his shrug again. That blank, uncaring look on his face.
No problem.
Who needs him, she thought. Lost in her thoughts, she didn't see the four-way stop in time. When the side of the red Corsica appeared just ahead of her in the windshield, it was too late. Becca gasped and hit the brakes. Her car slid hard into the other car. She closed her eyes against the crunch of metal and shattering glass. So that's chapter 1. Like I said, this is what I'm just trying it out. If you like my style, the way I read, I might change it up a lot. So yeah, just tell me. I'll read chapter 2, 3, 4. I'll read them more chapters at once. I just want to see how this goes, because I'm the type of person that just can't. You post videos and you don't get any views, and you're like, I suck, and I don't want to feel like that again. So that's why I'm only just reading one chapter. But this is a damn good book, I'm telling you. I know the ending. You would be shocked. Okay, so thank you for listening, and yeah, I will see you later.